Hello everyone, hope all is well and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all of my top favorite, my most loved drugstore products. Some of these products are going to seem a little bit redundant. They've been on my channel so many times, but I honestly think that's a good thing because it really shows that I truly love them. And I'm quite picky when it comes to makeup in general. Like if it's finicky or if I don't like the quality or anything like that, it's pretty much out the door. I just like to have very high performing products in my collection, and I just want to be able to count on them, and if they aren't reliable, if they act differently with other products underneath, I cut them out. I cut them out of my life. But anyways, all of these products I'm going to be talking about are my staples, and they are so good and almost not drugstore quality. But yeah, so before we get into it, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It means so much to me, and let's get to it. I forgot to mention that this eye look will be up on my channel. It is with the Melt Rust collection, and I'm very excited for that video, so keep tuned for that. I think I'm going to start backwards, and I'm going to start with eye products. I don't know why. I usually go like complexion to eye, but I want to do it a little bit different. So the first product I want to talk to you about is my favorite cool toned eyeshadow palette from the drugstore, and it is the Milani Soft and Sultry palette. I use this so many times on my channel. This is such a great quality cool tone palette. All of the shades look different on the eye, which is so important to me. It has such a nice range of depth in here, and the shimmers are beautiful. There are some shades in here that have a tinge of warmth to it, which I like to add in my cool tone looks just to add a little bit more dimension and to make it look a little bit more lively, because sometimes cool tones can make you look a little bit not there, but if you have a little bit of warmth in the crease or something like that, it makes it look so good. And I love this transition shade the most right here. These shadows are so high quality and they work so amazing. This in general, out of all the palettes, out of all of the price ranges, brands, companies, whatever, this is the best cool tone palette there is on the market that has come across my collection. This one gets a 10 out of 10 for me. It's a stunning palette and I highly recommend it. The quality is insane. The next palette is more of a warm toned one, and it is the Wet n Wild Color Icon My Glamour Squad palette. I know they have a bunch of these, and I don't know if My Glamour Squad is the shade of the palette or not, but it's the one that looks kind of like a dupe for the Soft Glam palette. This one's a great warm palette from the drugstore. It's $5. I can't even believe that, but it is such a nice formula. The mattes are so high performing as well. They do not do that cheap orange thing that a lot of drugstore shadows do, more warmer tones. They always blend out to this specific warm shade that makes it look very cheap. This does not do that, and the mattes are super buttery and they layer beautifully on top of each other. Sometimes with cheaper matte shadows or lower quality matte shadows, if you try to build a deeper shade on top of like a transition shade and it just kind of dusts off, leaves a hint of that shade, that does not happen with this. This is a very high quality matte formula. The shimmers in here, I will say they aren't my favorite, but they are a nice sheen. They're not the most dimensional, which I'm sad. I wish they were a little bit more dimensional. I specifically love the mattes in here. They are so good. That's where this palette shines, so I just wanted to mention that. It's my favorite more warm tone palette from the drugstore. Next, I want to talk about eye pencils, and I use these all the time. These are the only 4 I would recommend. The other ones I've tried from this collection are kind of a miss for me, and these are the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Gel Liner Pencils. These have been around for a bit, but these are so amazing. The ones that I specifically recommend are 910 Bold Brown, 900 Deep Onyx, 921 Deep Teal, and this gray one, 901 Intense Charcoal. These are the 4 that perform like high quality eye pencils. These are amazing. They blend so beautifully and they really stay on your eye. You get a lot of playtime, so if you want to smudge it out, make it more of a smoky look, you can totally do it with these. If you want to have a very deep waterline, you can achieve it with these, and they stay for so long. I like using these as bases for eyeshadows too. That's how confident I am in these. There are a few shades that don't work for me, like the white one or the navy one that I used in my Nikki makeup recreation video. That one is so bad. I don't know why, but these ones perform all the same. These are the eye pencils I mostly gravitate towards when I'm needing a pencil to accentuate one of my looks. I go for these most often. And I get a lot of questions on how I sharpen them, and I just use a normal sharpener. They're just in like a plastic tube, but I just use a normal sharpener. Now let's get into bronzers. So my newest fave from the drugstore is this Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer in the shade Sunset Striptease. I've been using this like crazy on my channel, you guys know. I love this one. It is kind of a drugstore dupe to the Lila B bronzer that I love so much. That one is my #1 favorite powder bronzer of all time, but this one is a very close dupe to that. It has a nice sheen in it. There's no glitter in it. It's just a pearl that really helps give a radiant look to your skin without feeling greasy or anything because it is a powder, and the formulation is stunning. It's a very creamy powder. It doesn't feel like a cream or anything. It just doesn't have any kickback, and it just performs kind of like a cream would, but it's a powder. I know that might be a little bit confusing, but it's a very high quality bronzer and I highly recommend it. It's so nice. The only thing is I pinch the crap out of my finger every time I open this. I don't know why I don't learn, but I just, every time. The next bronzer I want to talk about is another powder one that I really enjoy. It's the Maybelline City bronzer, and I use the shade 200 most often. I really love this shade because it doesn't have an orange or red tone base to it. It has more of a yellow tone base to it, which I like because I do have a yellow undertone. So this one is just very flattering. This is the first one that really suited my skin tone at all times of the year. It's a lovely powder formula and I highly recommend this one. I wish they had more shades than just 3. My last bronzer I want to talk about is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. The only thing I have bad to say about this product is the packaging. I don't like how chunky it is. I love going to this bronzer if I'm not sure which route I want to go on, if I want to use a powder or a cream. This is like a perfect in-between formula. This formulation is really unique because it feels like a cream, but it acts like a powder. It's just a lovely, lovely formula. And it's very nice and buildable as well. You never dip into a brush and then have too much on your cheek. It's very easygoing. You can put a lot of trust in it and the result is always beautiful. And I know the scent bothers a lot of people, but I personally really love the scent. It reminds me of Hawaii, which I wish I was there so badly, but I will settle for this in the meantime. This is another very reliable drugstore bronzer. Now I'm going to mention my favorite drugstore blush, which is the Flower Beauty Blush Bombs. You probably guessed that one right, but I love these so much. This is the perfect mix of the M Cosmetics Serum Blush as well as the Glossier Cloud Paints. It's like the perfect mix of those two. It's glowy, but it's not so glowy. It's very wearable and the shades are absolutely stunning. I find them to be quite unique as well. My 3 favorite shades are Cinnamon, Nectar, and Pinched. I feel like I mention them so often and you're probably like, shut up, stop talking about the same freaking products, but I can't. If I love something, I want to talk about it. One last thing, the packaging of these are genius because you can see the product moving out of the tip so you can expect what's to come out and you don't waste a lot of product. I really love Flower Beauty because I feel like she innovates higher end products into more of an affordable price range. Her products are mostly so good. Now let's get into my highlighter, the Milani Strobe Cream. I use this all the time. It's pretty much a dupe for the ABH Liquid Glow in the shade Perla. I would totally recommend this one over that one. This one has an amazing staying powder. It lasts so long on the cheeks. It doesn't fade away or anything like that. It does dry down eventually, but you do have a lot of playtime, which is nice. So you can work on multiple areas at once. You don't have to work on one single area of the face first. If a cream formula is like that, I kind of don't really go towards it. I like to have the time and workability to apply them properly, and I don't want to be rushing it or anything, but this is such a beautiful glowy product. It's a pretty intense liquid glow, so if you want more of like a sheer vibe, I just like to spread a little dollop on the back of my hand and then work from there. So I don't go in with too much because it can get very blinding. But if you love a blinding highlight, it's a great option for a cream highlight. Now let's get into my complexion products. My favorite glowy base is the Milani Soft Focus Glow. Talk about this so much, use this all the time. I do prefer this one way more over the L'Oreal one. I love the undertone of this one so much more, as well as the ingredients, because the L'Oreal one, the denatured alcohol is quite high up in the ingredient list, and it's not included in this ingredient list whatsoever. And this one does have hyaluronic acid. It gives such a softened look, and it's not too Tin Man-ish, or it doesn't dry down either. So it gives a dewy plus a glowy look at the same time, which is very nice. I do get asked the difference between these two very often. This one's just a highlighter for on top of your foundation and everything. This one is a base, so it's a lot more sheer and it is more natural looking. It's not like a purposeful highlighter. It just is there to really enhance your natural glow from within type look. So now for my favorite concealer and foundation. They're both from the same line. It's the Light Illusion Foundation and Concealer from Flower Beauty. These are so nice. I love the foundation. It's very reliable and very glowy as well. It gives such a nice natural glow, and it also has a nice self-setting quality to it, so it doesn't like move around. You don't feel it when it's on your skin. It's not heavy whatsoever, and it has a really nice amount of coverage. It's a light to medium, I'd say, but it builds up very nicely. And it feels very luxurious and heavy to me because it is in a glass container, and I think it's a very classy looking bottle with the rose gold and all that jazz. It's really nice, and it has SPF 18. This has just become my top drugstore foundation. It beat my L'Oreal Pro Glow that I used for a year straight, but yeah, this one, the best. Rose above it all. Amazing. And then for the concealer, same thing. It is so nice. It's very full coverage. This one has a lot of coverage, but it has a very thin formula, which is awesome. So you don't need to apply a lot, or it doesn't feel heavy or detectable in the skin either. So this just gets a 10 out of 10 for me. The only thing that kind of throws me off is that it smells like pure paint, and it is the consistency of paint. So that's the only thing that's a little bit odd about this one. But otherwise, it performs nicely. It does give a nice luminosity under your eyes, but it has those self-setting qualities, so you don't have to set it with powder if you don't want to or don't like to. I'm just gonna shut up about the concealer and move on to my last product, which I don't really know if it really counts as drugstore pricing. You can get it at the drugstore, but Pixi products usually are around $20, I'd say, or more, or a little bit less. So let me know in the comments down below if you even really count it as a drugstore affordable product. But this is the Pixi Skin Treats Glow Mist. This is the glowiest mist I've come across. If I really am feeling lackluster, I'll go to this one. It really adds so much glow. It's insane. And I really love the atomizer on here. It has a very thin, beautiful mist. It will take a matte foundation and make it look like the dewiest foundation on the planet in like 2 seconds. It's amazing. But that wraps up all of my favorite drugstore products, the ones that I count on very much from the drugstore. And I know this video might have seemed a little bit redundant or repetitive, and I'm sorry if it was, but I like what I like and I can't help it. And I thought it'd be nice to have my video encapsulating all of my favorite drugstore products. So that is all from me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. If you did, please give this video a huge thumbs up. It would help me out very much. I'll make sure to link all of these products in the description down below as always, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.